Hello, students. This is your English lesson. Students, in this lesson, we are going to read unit number 23 Too Many Doctors from Oxford Reading Circle 3. Students, here is a play Too Many Doctors. So, we start our play. The great Emperor Akbar lived in the subcontinent many hundreds of years ago. This is a play about him and his famous minister Birbal. Read the play and then act it in class. Scene 1. The court of Emperor Akbar. Courtiers and ministers are assembled. Akbar enters. Announcer. All rise for his Imperial Highness. The courtiers stand. Akbar sits on the throne. Announcer. Please be seated. Akbar. Well, Chief Minister, what is the business we have to discuss today? Chief Minister. Your Majesty, today we have to talk about the arrangements for your trip to Fatehpur next week. Akbar. Oh, that is what my ministers are here for. Chief Minister, I shall leave the arrangements to all of you. I am sure you will not forget the smallest detail. Chief Minister, I shall take care of the arrangements, Your Majesty. Akbar, looking at the journal. Journal, you will make sure, won't you, that we shall have some soldiers with us for our safety. General. Yes, indeed, Your Highness, all the troops of the Royal Guard are ready. Akbar. And what about the cooking arrangements? Have we enough cooks? Minister 1. Your Majesty, 12 kitchen staff are ready. They will prepare your favorite dishes. Akbar. And what about my physicians? Are they ready for the trip? Chief Physician. We are, indeed. Oh, great one! All three of the royal physicians, including myself, have made every preparation for the trip. Akbar. Now, whom have we forgotten? Ministers 2. The tailors are also ready, Your Majesty. Minister 3. So too are the palanquin barriers. Minister 4. And the water carriers. Minister 5. And the cavalry, Your Majesty. Minister 6. And the blacksmiths. Minister 7. The royal barber has been sharpening his razors and is also ready. Birbal. Ha! That lazy fellow has not had any work to do. Just look at the state of your beard, Your Majesty. The ministers and courtiers laugh. Akbar laughing and stroking his beard. You are quite right, Birbal. It is about time I had my beard trimmed. So we shall take the barber with us. And what about you, Birbal? My beard is fine, Your Majesty. I trim it myself. Akbar, laughing again. I was not talking about your beard. Birbal, are you ready? Birbal, I most certainly am, Your Highness. What would you do without my jokes and good company? Akbar laughing. Quite right, Birbal. Quite right. We simply cannot do without you, Birbal. Thank you, Your Highness. Thank you. Akbar, all this talk about whom to take with us on the trip reminds me of a question I have for all of you. Chief Minister. A question? Your Highness, please do ask your question. Akbar. The question, Chief Minister, is this: which profession is the most common or most popular in our capital city, Delhi? Who can tell me what that profession is? Chief Minister. Surely it is farming, Your Majesty. Most people are farmers. General. No, no, Chief Minister. His Highness asked about the people in the capital, not the entire land. Most people in the capital work for the Emperor. Therefore, I would say the most common profession is soldiering. There are more soldiers than farmers in the capital. And being a general in the army, I am proud to say that I am a member of that profession. Minister one, a noble profession, general? Indeed, a noble profession, but I do not think we have more soldiers than servants in the palace. And besides, there are many rich people in the capital. They all have servants. I think being a servant is a more common profession. Minister 2, what about tailoring? Everyone wears grand clothes here, so there must be hundreds of tailors. Minister 3, aha, but who sells the clothes? Most people are traders. Minister 4, I don't agree. More people have to eat, so I think there are more cooks. Why even I boil an egg for my breakfast? Occasionally, the ministers and courtiers laugh. Akbar, you see, this is not such an easy question to answer. What do you think, Birbal? Let us hear what you have to say. Birbal, why, Your Majesty? For me, this is a very easy question to answer. It is easy, clear. It is quite clear that the most common profession in the capital is medicine. Akbar, medicine? Have you lost your senses, man? What do you mean? Birbal, I mean, Your Majesty, that there are more doctors in the capital. Chief physician, angrily, how ridiculous! I'm a doctor and it took me years of study to become one. Very few people in the country can claim to be physicians. Akbar, yes, Birbal, the chief physician is right. Not everyone can become a doctor. One has to be very clever and study for many years to become a doctor. Birbal, so you do not believe me? Your Highness, I can prove it. Please come with me to the marketplace tomorrow morning and I shall show you that I am correct. Akbar, this I shall have to see for myself. I'll put on a disguise and be there tomorrow. Now let us go and make preparations for the trip to Fatehpur. Scene 2, the marketplace. Birbal is sitting on a bench. He has a bandage on one hand. Akbar enters with a shawl over his head. Akbar, good morning, Birbal. Birbal, oh, is that you, Your Majesty? He peers at Akbar. Akbar, yes, it is me. Whom did you expect? Birbal, what a clever disguise, Your Majesty. No one will know it is you, but I am afraid everyone who passes by here will know me. You will soon see. Akbar, noticing Birbal's bandaged hand, what have you done to your hand? Birbal, why are you wearing that bandage? Birbal, I was cutting vegetables last night to help my wife prepare dinner, and very foolishly I cut my finger. My wife put a bandage round my hand, but it still aches. Akbar, is the cut clean? Birbal, did you put anything on it? You know, you should keep your hand in some warm water for half an hour. Then, when it is nice and soft and clean, you should put some ointment on it. Birbal, I will do that as soon as I get home, Your Highness. But unfortunately, at the moment, I cannot write. So please take this pen and paper and note down the number. Physicians we meet in the market today. Akbar, certainly, but you know, people will laugh if they come to know that the great Akbar is doing his minister's work. Luckily, they won't know me with my disguise. Birbal, thank you, Your Majesty. We shall soon see if I am correct about the number of physicians in the capital. Look, here comes a friend of mine. Enter Jabbar. Jabbar, hello, Birbal. What are you doing here so early? And who is your friend? Birbal, hello, Jabbar. This is a distant relation. I brought him to see our market. Jabbar, what have you done to your hand? Birbal, nothing, Nothing, just a little cut. Jabbar, did you cut it with a rusty knife? If so, make sure you put some neem oil on it. Neem oil will kill all the germs. Barbel, thank you. I shall be sure to put some neem oil on it as soon as I get home. Jabbar, well, I must be getting along. I have to open my shop. Barbel, goodbye, goodbye. Akbar, well, your friend Jabbar said he had a shop, so he appears to be a trader. I shall just note down trader against his name. Barbel, no, no, your majesty, he is a physician. Did you not hear him speak of neem oil? Akbar, well, yes, I suppose so. I shall write down physician. Enter Shamsher. Shamsher, hello, Barbel, how are you? Barbel, hello, Shamsher, I'm fine. Shamsher, but what have you done to yourself? Nothing serious, I hope. You haven't been fighting, have you? Barbel, no, no, just a little cut. Shamsher, a cut? Eh, I'm glad it's bandaged. Keep dust and flies well away. These will make it septic. And to make the cut heal quickly, put a little aloe on it. I always tell my students aloe is a very useful plant. It helps to cure cuts. Barbel, I shall be sure to do so when I get home. Thank you for the advice. Shamsher, well, I must be off. I have a class to attend. Barbel, goodbye, goodbye. Exit Shamsher. Akbar, now this Shamsher must be a teacher. I shall write teacher next to his name. Barbel, no, no, he too is a physician. You see what good advice he gave me? Akbar, laughing, all right, Barbel, I think you have made your point. Every person we are going to meet today is going to be a physician. I think you are right after all. Medicine is the most popular profession in our capital. Barbel, well, I knew it all along. Akbar, I'm sure the other ministers will find it funny to hear that the first two people we met today were both physicians. Barbel, did you say two? Your Highness, surely you mean three. Akbar, three? But we only met two of your friends. Barbel, yes, indeed, your majesty, but you have to put your name at the head of the list. You were the first person to give me some medical advice this morning. Akbar laughing and patting Barbel on the back. You are very clever, Barbel. There are too many doctors here. Come, let us have some breakfast. It will help to heal your cut. Barbel and Akbar depart, laughing. Curtain. Now come to the exercises. A. Questions. 1. What do the ministers discuss in the court at the start of the play? Answer. The ministers discuss the arrangements for the upcoming trip to Fatehpur. 2. What are some of the suggestions made by the ministers about the most important profession asked by the king? Answer. The ministers suggest that farmers, soldiers, servants, traders, tailors, and doctors have the most popular profession. 3. Why does the chief physician get cross? Answer. The chief physician is cross because Barbel believed medicine was the most common profession, whereas according to the chief physician, it is not easy to become a doctor. 4. In your opinion, do you think Barbel is right? Give a reason to support your answer. Answer. In my opinion, Barbel is right because in the market, whoever met to Barbel asked about the cut and gave him advice how to cure the cut according to their own knowledge. 5. Reading through the play, in your opinion, what sort of a king was Akbar? Give reasons to support your answer. Akbar is very powerful king, having large army of soldiers. He is ruler of a grand empire. He has a large number of ministers and generals. Moreover, he is loving and having friendly nature. B. Reference to context. Read these lines from the play, then answer the questions. 1. My beard is fine, Your Majesty. I trim it myself. A. Who says these words and when? Answer. Birbal. When Akbar asks him if he is ready for the trip and Birbal pretends to mistakenly assume he is being asked about his beard. B. Does Birbal not understand the question he is asked? Answer. Yes, he does. He only pretends to misunderstand in order to elicit a few laughs and playful mock Akbar. See, what reply does Birbal get to this statement? Answer. Akbar laughs and clarifies that he was actually asking whether Birbal was ready for the forthcoming trip. 2. Luckily, they won't know me with my disguise. A. Who says these words and to whom? Answer. Akbar to Birbal. B. Where is the speaker and what is he doing there? Answer. In the marketplace. He is disguised in order to check if Birbal's claim was true. C. Why does the speaker say luckily? Answer. He doesn't want to be recognized since he is right now doing his minister's job. C. Words and meaning. 1. Match a word in A with a word in B. Tailor, cloth. Chef, food. Carpenter, wood. Librarian, books. Farmer, crops. Vet, animals. Teacher, children. Mechanic, cars. 2. Use these words in sentences of your own. A. Most popular. Harry Potter is the most popular novel of the children. B. Most common. Pollution is the most common problem of the present age. C. Entire. Some people lived their entire lives without basic needs. D. Noble. Teaching is a noble profession. E. Besides. Besides eggs and meat, I need some vegetables. F. Keep well away. Please explain what are and other words for keep well away. G. Including. My farmhouse has many large rooms, including dining room. Thanks for listening. For new videos, don't forget to subscribe my channel. And if you like my videos, please share and like.